Yes.
Hi everyone, this is Didi.
And I am Fred. And this is our 36-foot floating home Sunshine.
Join us as we go sailing.
Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, June 28th, about 8:30 a.m. We just got the anchor up, got the sails up, and we're on the way to Mayotte. Beautiful day right now. We got a couple of little light sprinklies from the clouds coming over the mountains, but no major rain. Got some nice sunshine.
Rainbow over there.
Yeah. Well, that's the second one. I saw another one back over that way.
Yeah.
So, a couple of rainbows. I guess that's a good sign for our departure.
I told everyone there, then the light on right.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's the other end of the one I saw. I don't know if it'll pick up on the camera or not. Yeah. He's going to sail almost right through it. I don't know if it's on the land or over the water. Anyway, we're heading off more or less to the west to get around that point out there. And then we can turn to about 230 degrees, which is the course to Mayotte from that point. Anyway, beautiful day. Say hello, sweetie.
Hello.
You didn't say hello, sweetie.
Not sweet. Sour.
Okay. Hello, Gracie.
Oh, Gracie.
Say goodbye, Gracie. Goodbye, Gracie. Well,
Gracie
George
dear.
Burns and Gracie Allen.
Yeah. Tired from hoisting the anchor and pulling the anchor and the slaves pulling up the sails.
Yes.
Yeah, the slaves up all the time. Look at the rainbow now getting longer.
Oh, yeah, it's getting brighter over there. Well, we're going to be somewhere under the rainbow.
Yeah, getting stronger the wind.
Not necessarily over the rainbow.
20 knots we got now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And we're not even around the point yet.
What speed are we now? 5 knots? The boat speed.
A good 4.5, I would say. Maybe a little more. Anyway.
The smoke. Where's the smoke?
Yeah, well, that's the cloud mist.
The cloud.
Probably a little rain over there. Yeah. Little squally line. But it's all from the clouds going up over the mountains. Cools them off, drops some rain.
Catamaran, look the catamaran. That catamaran I heard go to the other side where we anchored before.
We're anchored over there, too.
I mean, but they are look like back and forth going to other side and back in here.
No. I don't know what they're doing. If that's one of the charter boats or what.
Sprinkling now.
Anyway, oh yes, here we go. A little sprinkle tinkle. Rainbow's fading. Anyway.
Enjoy watching. Enjoy watching.
I will say goodbye.
Say goodbye. Look, I am safe now.
Hello and good morning, everyone. It's a little past 9:30 in the morning on the 30th of June, 2023. It's a Thursday. Just about exactly a day, 24 hours that is, since we left our anchorage at the Seychelles. And had pretty good sailing, but getting the boat going and getting it set on course and all those kind of things, and the sails trimmed, I really wasn't able to get the boat to point quite as high as I wanted, and we were slowly drifting north of the course line. So that wasn't good. And I figured today we'd have to do something about that. Get the boat heading back south. Well, last night I'm looking at the chart, and I zoomed out so I could see more, and oops, there's a big section of shoal water out in front of us, because the original course would have gone south of that, and since we had gone about 15 miles north of that course line, we were headed right for the southern edge of it, which looked like an old volcanic cone submerged, and then a whole string of shallows going off to the north from that. Anyway, I thought, well, maybe I can drop the jib and sheet the trysail in really tight and start the motor and kind of power sail to the south to get around the southern end. And as I'm sitting there in the cockpit contemplating doing that, sure enough, you know, it's between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, a squall comes up, and it was a rather feisty one. Next thing you know, it's blowing maybe at least 30, maybe 35 knots. I'm not sure if it rained or if that was just spray. Boat was going crazy, overpowered. And I could see that trying to power sail the boat into those conditions would have been foolhardy. So, spent the rest of the early morning until daybreak just kind of sitting in the cockpit trying to get the boat to go more north-northwest. Figured I'd have to give up a bunch of north and go around the north end of that string of shoals just to be safe, rather than trying to force the boat to the south, because that gave us a pretty long stretch of lee shore, although there's nothing above the water in there that I know of, but there are some pretty shallow depths, like under 10 feet, scattered around in that area. So from that time forward, after the sun came up, we could see, I contemplated how to get the boat to go pretty much north-northwest, because that squall brought a wind shift from the southeast to the east-southeast, which made it pretty much dead downwind. Unfortunately, this boat has a lot of windage aft, which it makes it difficult to get the boat and not to round up either to port or starboard. And Dee Dee and I spent a couple of hours doing sail experiments, trying to get the boat to balance and sail dead downwind with just the storm jib. We tried pulling it out with the boat hook, but that didn't work out real well, because the boat would still, if it went off course a little, the wind would get on either the port or starboard side and just push the stern around. So what I decided to do then, finally, was take the storm jib off the staysail stay and move it to the head stay, thereby giving it more leverage against the boat to help hold the head or the bow of the boat off the wind. And that's worked quite well. Anyway, that squall seems to have been the precursor to the increased wind which was forecast in this area. And I know you can't really get an appreciation for the waves with the video, but I'll tell you right now, there are greenies everywhere. That means minimum 25 knots. I would guesstimate it's 25 to 30 knots. Seas are building and have been building. Easily 3 meters, maybe a little bit more. Could see 4 meters. You know, about, what would that be? 4 times 4 is 16, up around 13, 14 feet as the day progresses. Anyway, got the boat doing pretty well with just the storm jib set up there. Holding a pretty good course. I can't use the trysail, produces too much weather helm, obviously. Not really necessary because we're sitting at right around making 5 knots with just the storm jib up. It's a beautiful day. The sky is relatively clear. And last night it was relatively clear, except for when that squall line came through. The chute back there, back aft, you can see that greenie just broke astern. That was a solid 10 feet, 3 meters. Right there. That's at least 10 feet, maybe a little bit more. But they're coming directly astern of us right now, because we're going basically dead downwind to the west northwest. Poor Dee Dee's a little bushed. She had just gone down to go to sleep when the squall hit. Next thing you know, pots and pans are flying. The stuff that we normally stow behind a big sea rail under the stove. A couple of pots jumped out and were clanging around with her on the floor there because she was sleeping on the cabin sole next to the engine room. And motion got a little lively with the rolling and the splashing with the waves breaking against the side of the boat. But now that conditions are pretty much steady, I won't say moderated, because it's certainly blowing. If it doesn't get any worse than this, except for the occasional squall, it'll be no big deal. Sailing the next, through Sunday anyway, under conditions like this. It's actually quite pleasant. The sun is warm. Right now the air is warm. Last night it went from cool to warm to cool again, and now it's pretty nice. Probably because the sun is up. Anyway, that's it for now. There's my snoozing community over there. Trying to get 40 legs in. I may do the same. Bye for now.